Battleship Destroyer. Battleship Destroyer. Hello and welcome! Today we are in the new Tier 10 German destroyer, the Elbing, or as the internet tells me it's really called the Elbing. She is the crowning jewel of the new German AP destroyers. She was given to me by Wargaming for a preview, but they're gonna take it back. She is effectively an advancement on the Felix Schultz. She does exactly the same gameplay. You fire AP at long range and basically you're a cruiser. I mean, look, she even has 34,400 HP. She also has 13.5 kilometer torpedoes, which I use immediately here to basically hold off the enemy. Maybe I'll get lucky and some of the enemy cruisers end up sailing into it. Oh, Kagaro's actually... Because the torpedoes are extremely slow, I have to warn my Kagero that she doesn't sail into them. But effectively, with this ship, you want to have enemies broadside you, because you almost always want to fire AP. Your HE damage output is pretty weak, your DPM is low, but your AP DPM is about the same as heavy cruisers at tier 9, the Ibuki for example. And you have basically the same type of penetration, which means that if a cruiser shows you broadside at say 10 kilometers, you can citadel them. And you also have improved out-of-bounds angles. Oh, a Smolensk! Perfect example to show at 13 kilometers, by the way. Oh, I missed the first salvo. These guns are also extremely accurate, so you have to actually aim properly. Double citadel, just like that, at 13 kilometers against the cruiser. Sure, it's a Smolensk, it doesn't have much armor. So I guess let's show it on an Amalfi next, right? She is a tier 8 heavy cruiser. She should be better armored, right? Let's see how our AP does. 11 kilometers. Okay, just 2 regular penetrations. Fine, fine. And now we got 3 citadels. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Basically, cruisers have to fear you when they're under... Oh my god, no. Torpedoes? Nope, nope, nope. Triple set, this means that has to be the Shimakaze. Oh no. You see, the problem with her HE is that it's not actually all that strong. A Shimakaze is probably going to lose a straight up gunfight, but if a few of those battleships on the enemy team actually shoot me, maybe Shimakaze actually works out fine though. But screw it, I'm just gonna take the risk. I'm gonna try to go after her. I'm gonna switch to Ichi, because AP will just overpen the cruiser. Oh, she's smoking! Good, now I can just torpedo her in the smoke, so it'll be perfect. Shima also outspots me by quite a lot. She has 5.6 kilometer concealment, I have 6.5. But anyway, we're gonna fight. Now, even though the Elbing might have low HE damage per minute, she has very good accuracy, which means that it's actually higher than what you would expect. Also, as you saw, I was actually spotted there because I have 16 kilometers of range after my captain skills. Anyway, I'm gonna just try to get really close to this smoke. I'm gonna torp it, and then hopefully the Shima eats a few of these torpedoes and we can go on our merry way. Oh no, she actually left the smoke. Okay, I guess I'll just have to use my guns then. It's fine, it's fine. 2800 damage. That's actually 3k damage. Wait, why is she not firing? Wait, don't tell me she has torps already. Didn't she already just fire her torpedoes? No, it can't be torpedoes. No way, right? I mean, she just not firing, so what is she doing? No, it was torpedoes! Oh my god! Did it really take so... What? Didn't she just fire them? Okay, whatever. Torpedoes are there, let's just avoid them. In some ways, this ship is a lot more than like a cruiser than you would expect. The HP pool is kinda like a cruiser's, 34,400. This is what survivability expert though. She has a 6.3 second rudder shift, so that's kinda getting on the lower cruiser levels. She's also pretty damn big, as you saw in the thumbnail. But otherwise, she actually does fulfill destroyer roles somewhat reluctantly, but she can do it. I mean, better than any cruiser would, right? Because she still has 6.5 kilometer concealment. That's actually better than some of the French destroyers, right? So it's not actually that bad. And the AP DPM is pretty good. It's as high as heavy cruisers. Okay, some heavy cruisers like the Ibuki, but not others. Like Hindenburg is obviously better, right? And effectively you can just, if the enemies are showing broadside, you deal a lot of damage, like this Odin here. So you want to flank. The weakness of the ship is that if there are no other destroyers on your team, you're in trouble, because this ship really doesn't want to be the destroyer. Because if you have to be in the caps, enemies are probably angling against you and then you don't do much damage. But we'll just farm this North Carolina here, and you'll just see how scary it is. I mean, look, that's a battleship at 12 kilometers from me, and she still has to worry about the fact that I am on her broadside. It's pretty crazy. Like, seriously, this seems pretty insane to me. It kind of feels like destroyers are slowly replacing cruisers, huh? 4,000 damage? 6,000 damage? 3,500 damage. By the way, notice that basically every salvo I fire, almost all of my shells hit every time. At 12 kilometers, it's pretty common for me to have something like 75% hit rate at the end of a match. Anyway, now it's time to reposition. And, wait, what the hell is a Fenyang? As I was playing this match, I legitimately did not know what a Fenyang was. I went over and asked on Discord what a Fenyang was. Apparently it's a worse Akizuki, so I'm not that worried anymore. But initially I was slightly worried because I had never seen that ship before. Anyway, I launched some torpedoes. Maybe I'll catch them off guard, but mostly the plan is to just try to flank the enemies. If the Colombo and the Musashi are gonna push, and I mean, looking at the minimap, how my team is positioned, I think they are going to. Being on their sides is going to be extremely helpful, because then I'll just do the same damage that I did to the North Carolina again. So, I find that the ship is lots of fun to play. I have no idea how it'll feel to play against her, but to actually play her is quite fun. Oh, Penyang spotted. Should I open up on her? I mean, I have a smoke screen, so I could just sit here and shell. I'll just try. Let's see how much damage AP does. Do I overpen? Well, obviously on the bow, right? But if I hit the middle of the ship, do I still overpen? Oh, come on! She's playing me like a fiddle here. Okay, it doesn't matter if I overpen on the next salvo. And I'm gonna just start smoking now. Okay, Fenyang should go down from this. She's way too close for the... Oh my... I can't believe... This Fenyang played with her speed really well to avoid my shells. Didn't save her from the Des Moines though, but she tried. Torpedoes are reloaded again, so should I launch them on the Musashi or the Colombo? Now let's just use our guns, because I don't know how she's gonna turn. And right now the Cristoforo Colombo is showing me lots and lots of broadside. Oh, Smolensk! Hello! By the way, these guns can citadel a Smolensk even at 16 kilometers. Destroyer, by the way. Destroyer. By the way, the opening clip you saw where I citadel the Conqueror, she can do that, but in practice you're actually never gonna do that, because you have to be within 1 kilometer of the battleship, okay? And it won't really work against any of the other tier 10 battleships. But still, kind of impressive that a destroyer could, in any circumstances, citadel a battleship, right? That same tier battleship as well. Okay, we got the Cristoforo Colombo. She tried being sneaky with her smokescreen, but you have to not fire your guns in a while, otherwise ships that are close by will simply spot you. Should I torp the Musashi? She was trying to do some sneaky stuff. I guess I can just use my guns, right? She only has 25k HP. 3k damage. 4k damage. I'm trying to aim at the hopper belt because I can't penetrate the citadel belt, obviously. 3.7k damage. Another option would be the stern of the ship. 4.2k damage. I mean, a few more and it's over, right? 2.7k. I really should be hitting the stern, I think. Oh, by the way, the AP shells, just like on the Felix Schultz, have the better autobounce angles too, so it's kind of like fighting an American heavy cruiser. And in fact, her penetration values are pretty much in line with lots of the older heavy cruisers. So basically, you can citadel most of the things, or almost all of the things a Hindenburg can citadel. Which is pretty impressive. Oh, and your shell speed is about the same as Hindenburg too, and yeah, that really makes you feel like a cruiser, and makes you wonder why you would want to play a heavy cruiser in the first place. But I suppose they might have some things going for them. You know, I might have bitten off more than I can chew here. The Smolensk is looking actually kinda scary. I have to smoke here. Because I think I would just lose to the Smolensk. She'll angle eventually, and then I can't really citadel her, and then my damage output just falls off a cliff. Meanwhile, she has pretty accurate guns too. Oh, but if she shows broadside like this... Are you sure you want to do that, Smolensk? I really wouldn't want to show broadside if I were you. And I still have some HP. Oh! Thank you for the radar, Des Moines. That's it for the Smolensk. Good night, good night. The Black Pearl. Oh, she's still trying. Damn. Oh, I guess the Des Moines finished her. That's fine. I mean, we already have 5 ships sunk, right? So we technically have a Kraken. This game is also basically over. But I'd like to show you guys this graph. This is from the World of Warships fitting tool. Or you could look at the same graph from the World of Warships ballistics calculator. It's roughly the same. But I'd like to point out the blue line here. This is the penetration value of the Elbing, right? Based on distance, how much penetration you get. So at 14 kilometers, for example, you can penetrate 171 millimeters of armor. The yellow line here, though, is the AP penetration of the Ibuki, the tier 9 Japanese heavy cruiser, right? She gets, at 14 kilometers, gets roughly 150 millimeters of penetration. That's a good 20 millimeters less than the Elbing. Think about it. One is a tier 9 heavy cruiser, a heavy cruiser firing 203 millimeter caliber AP shells. The other is a destroyer firing 150 millimeter caliber shells. But wait, it gets worse. Look at the green line, right? This is the shell flight time at these distances for the Ibuki. So at 16 kilometers, for example, it takes roughly 11.3 seconds for the shell to arrive, right? But for the same value, the red line is the Elbing. It's 9.3 seconds. So there's a 2-second difference at 16 kilometers on shell flight time. So the Elbling's shells are faster, they have more penetration, and when you look at the DPM stats, it's also like 1% more DPM, with AP that is, than the Ibuki. And obviously she has the better auto bounce angles as well. So it's pretty crazy. And wait, there's more. This is the Hindenburg added. So the yellow line here represents the Hindenburg's penetration. It's only slightly better. The German 203mm AP shells are only slightly better than the German 150mm AP shells in penetration. And actually the Hindenburg's shells have longer flight time. A tiny bit longer, but still, it's basically the same thing. So effectively, you should treat the Elbling's AP shells kind of like a heavy cruiser. You should think of them effectively the same way. So, the last shot. We're gonna sink the Kaga for our 6th kill. Oh, come on! Seriously? Just... my shells were almost there. I feel so robbed. Oh well, that's fine, right? We sank 5 ships. 142k damage. 7 citadels. So I should probably be happy about that. Here's the penetrations. Most of them were regular pens. 2230 base XP. 1.4 million potential damage in a destroyer, by the way. 122k damage from the AP shells. The ship doesn't really have massive instant damage, at least not from the guns. The torpedoes could actually do that, but not from the guns. But when she gets your broadside and just plinks away at you, the damage adds up. I'm slightly worried that the new destroyers will make some of the older heavy cruisers kind of obsolete. See, why would you play an Ibuki if you could play this thing, right? Because when it comes to AP, she's just better. Oh, +2 karma. I guess when you do well, people do compliment you. But yeah, effectively, it makes me worry about the heavy cruisers. Petropavlovsk and other railguns are gonna be fine, but some of them might not be. Anyway, the skills I used: IFA, Last Stand, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, Adrenaline Rush, Main Battery and AA Expert, and Fearless Brawler. I'm not sure if this is the best build, this is just what I used here. Maybe you take extra heavy AP shells and something like Grease the Gears and the AA1 and drop Fearless Brawler or something. I don't know. You have some options to go for, right? Because, look, you're gonna use your smokescreen once in a while and just chill at targets, and Fearless Brawler is not going to help you in those cases because you won't be spotted. Anyway, the upgrades that I used are Main Battery Modification 3, so this is Reload, then Concealment, obviously, Propulsion Mod because you're in the smokescreen and you don't have Hydro or anything like that, so you need to go very quickly. Then Main Battery Modification 2 is pretty useful, otherwise, if I had Grease the Gears, then maybe Turp Tubes Modification. Then Engine Room Protection, because you don't have Speed Boost. You could go for Defensive AA, but I don't think it makes much sense, because I don't think this Def AA is worth much, because, well, you only have 3 flak bubbles, and the main thing Def AA boosts is flak damage. And 3 flak bubbles just isn't enough. And then, obviously, Main Arms Modification 1. So, overall, it's a fun destroyer. I really like the new destroyer line. The tier 9 and 10 feel great. I'm just worried what kind of impact they're gonna have on some of the heavy cruisers, especially in random battles. Obviously, in something like competitive, this destroyer might not be quite as incredible, because it's obviously never gonna match up to something like a Petropavlovsk. But, you know, the more meh heavy cruisers, yeah, this could absolutely replace some of them. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.